Hey guys, it's Angie from YB Urban. I'm just here to talk to you guys a little bit about the new subscription packs that just came out today. And most of the information for this month's pack is on the um, Facebook page that we have. So there you'll find the pictures and the descriptions of each product there. I just like to do the video so that we can kind of just go through a couple of the other intricacies of the product and share just a little bit more insight about them. Because sometimes you just don't get it all from that text. And so I'm going to try to make this nice and short and sweet, and we'll just go through the products one at a time and see what we got. So we'll start here with the raspberry and carrot sun butter. So you guys will all receive this in your pack. And if you read about it online, you know kind of about the FDA regulations on sunscreens and SPFs. This is a product that I get asked for a lot, is which of our products have sunscreen potential or capabilities. And because of the FDA regulations on this and the fact that I just don't have the desire to really go through the process of getting this product tested or approved to be considered a sunscreen and then paying the FDA all that money that would be required to do that, I just have really opted not to do sunscreen products up to this point, and I just don't see myself ever going through that process. However, there is a lot of research that's been done on some very specific ingredients that are shown to have some sun protective qualities, and so that's what we decided to put into this sun butter. And you can read more about that on the Facebook page specific to those ingredients, but the only thing I just wanted to mention about this product on the video is that this is a butter-based product. This isn't a cream. It's kind of solid when you first get it. So when you start to use it, you're going to really kind of want to dig into this butter. So this is what would be considered a traditional body butter, and the difference between this and the body butter that we sell in our shop right now is that the body butter that we sell in the shop is actually a cream-based lotion. It really should be more appropriately called a butter cream, and maybe it will be once we start developing more of this type of product, but this is a really traditional body butter. So this is your butters, your oils, and your waxes. There's no water ingredients, so it's not a cream, and it's not going to soak in the same as a cream-based lotion, but it does have a really luxurious buttery feel to it. I personally love these kinds of body butters, and I hope that you guys do too. So I would just really recommend, you can even poke at it, or just get in there, and as you start to use it, it's going to soften up a little bit and become a little bit easier to apply. But I just wanted to mention that first round of it, it's going to feel kind of more like a balm, or something like a salve or a balm, but it really is considered a butter. And so just kind of get into it. Once it softens up, you'll start to notice that it just really feels really buttery. The scent is really awesome on this one. I'm just really pleased with how this came out. So use it carefully. We are testing it for those sun protective qualities, but I don't want anybody to end up with a sunburn. So what I had recommended in the video was just maybe do a little test, put some on one shoulder, maybe leave the other shoulder with nothing, or even use a different type of sunscreen product on the other shoulder. Spend some time outside in the sun, a reasonable amount of casual sun use, enough that you would maybe start to get some color, but you're not going to become kind of charred or burned, and just see if you've noticed some differences. And I know there are people out there who use all on its own the red raspberry seed oil as their sun protection, and it really does seem to work. So that's what we're looking for. And if you were to come into the shop, if this is kind of deemed one of those products that we would carry, and you asked me for a sunscreen product, my response would be, we don't carry specifically sunscreens or SPF products, but I do have a product that's been tested and shown to have those sun protective qualities. So that's how we handle that. All right, next we've got two Sport Head products. So this little soap bar has been wondrous since we started testing it earlier. So this is a charcoal soap. So if you've read about anything about charcoal soaps, activated charcoal is really good for odor control, bacteria control, and then we pair it with the Dead Sea salt, which has a lot of those same types of properties with it. The bentonite clay gives it a really nice texture and slip when you're using it. And then it is a shea butter based soap, so it's got a lot of moisturizing qualities. I do often tell this story if people come to the store and look for this product, that when we were first testing this product, my husband used it, and he used it at an evening. He took a shower, used the soap. The next morning, he very purposefully didn't put on any type of odor control or deodorant product, went out in the garden, spent a couple hours out there, sweated profusely, came in dripping, and put his armpit in my face and told me to smell it, and I did, and it didn't smell like anything, and we thought that was pretty amazing. And a lot of you, or some of you, have already had the chance to try the soap. We did do some free samples of it at the store when we first made it, but I think there's enough of you that haven't tried it that it's really worth having in this pack and giving you guys the opportunity to give me feedback on this product, which I'm really excited about. The essential oils in here are just blended so synergistically. They really provide all of that antifungal, antibacterial, odor controlling qualities, and it smells great. And then as a companion to that, I wanted to test another deodorant, because after this worked really well, I got really curious about how these same ingredients would function in a deodorant. And I know last time we did the deodorant, we did it without the applicator, and that was the number one complaint about that deodorant, was it was hard to apply. The texture wasn't very good, and most people preferred or would like to see it with an applicator. And so I went ahead and got these. These are just really small 1 ounce applicators. They do push up from the bottom, so that's the application. You just push that up, and the bar comes up. Sometimes it also goes down when you don't need to, so you might have to play with that a little bit. But what I like about these particular applicators is they are reusable. And so if this becomes a product that we're selling, which I did sell, make some more of that Litzy and Juniper scent, and did sell those in the store. So as we're moving forward with deodorant products, if we find that they work really well, this would be the application for them, because of the fact that it is reusable. So these can be returned to the store, and we'll wash them up and be able to reuse them. So that's a really nice eco-friendly option, and it really is kind of the heart and soul of our packaging right now, is the ability to be able to reuse that packaging. So again, very similar ingredients to the Litzy and Juniper deodorant, the arrowroot powder, the kaolin clay, and then also the addition of the activated charcoal and the dead sea salts in this particular product. So yeah, I'm really excited to hear what you guys think about this. And again, the fragrance and the essential oil blend is exactly the same as the soap. So it'd be interesting to me to see how you like them apart. So maybe use just your regular body soap, or what you normally use, and then use the deodorant. Use the athletic soap with your regular deodorant, and then use them together and see how you feel about all those different types of combinations. I'd be really curious to know how you guys feel about that. So feel free to give me that information. Then we also have the mask spray. So this was obviously something, when I started planning these packs, several months ago, it wasn't really a thing that I had thought of, but more recently, within the last month or so, and especially since the mask mandate went into effect here in Minnesota, or I mean, where do we live? Here in Wisconsin, it just seemed like the right thing to do, seemed like a product that people could really benefit from having. And these are really, we've got the two different kinds, so it's really random which one you'll get. So you'll either get the Free Mind or the Breathe Happy. If you guys are familiar with these blends, they're both excellent blends for opening up the airways, as well as providing that mental clarity and kind of awakening the senses. So that sense of alertness is also really good with these. And then the immune system support. And I think all those things are really important right now. I'm particularly worried about my children being in school all day with a mask on, and how that's going to affect how tired they become, because when I wear a mask for a long period of time, I do tend to get more tired. And so that really was part of what went into the thought process behind these. The other thing that I think is kind of special about these, being professionally formulated. So when I say professionally formulated, could you go home throw some water in a bottle, throw some essential oils in there, shake it up and put it on your mask. Absolutely, you could do that. Like that could be a thing. But when we talk about professional formulation, there's a couple things that we do on a professional level that isn't generally done on a DIY level, because you're just not going to have the ingredients and the access to them that we have here as industry professionals. And so I did add some witch hazel to this. Witch hazel is one of my favorite astringent ingredients. It is a plant-based ingredient, and it functions a lot similarly to vinegar when it comes to like cleaning and freshening and those kinds of things. But it's also a great toner for skin. So I feel like when we have that mask on all day, a couple of things are happening. We're probably sweating because we're breathing and it's getting really moist in there. And so bacteria builds up, and we have all this bacteria that also happens in our mouths. And so we're breathing that out, and that's getting kind of stuck on these masks too. So the idea of what's happening with people's skin with like this mask acne, it really is a real thing. And those are some of the reasons why that happens. But the witch hazel can really help to coat and like protect the skin in that way and just kind of freshen it up. The other thing that's kind of interesting about professional formulas is that we would be able to dilute the essential oils into that water. So if you're using a formula that's literally distilled water and essential oils, like you can shake that up and disperse those essential oils throughout that water, but they're not truly being diluted because oils and waters don't mix. Same reason why you do not want to put lemon oil in your water and drink it, because you're not diluting that essential oil, and that high limonene content in that lemon oil can burn your esophagus, your stomach lining. I'll digress. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. Come into the shop, we can talk about it all day long. But it's the same reasoning. So when you're applying this to your mask, if you want proper dilution, especially with children, you want to make sure those essential oils are diluted properly. And so we use a naturally derived solvent to be able to achieve that. So the essential oils in here are diluted at a good ratio that's appropriate for both children and adults. And the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when you put water into a formula, over time water does start to get bacteria, unless it's refrigerated or preserved in some other way. But if it's just sitting on the shelf or at room temperature, or even kind of in a warm car, like that water can start to breed bacteria in less than 14 days. And so unless you're using your mask spray up really quick, if there's not a preservative in there, then you might actually be spraying out bacteria onto your mask. So having a safe natural preservative is a really good idea for any water-based formulas. And as professionals, we use them in all of our water-based formulas. And we do use those eco-certified ingredients. We never use parabens or anything nasty. And we use as little as possible to achieve the results that we want. So those are kinds of a couple of things that are really important, I think, when you're looking for product. Now, if you're going to make this at home or use a product that doesn't have that preservative, put it in the fridge. It's something that you could do. But I'm excited to see what you guys think about mask sprays in general and how you feel about these ones that we've created and the blends that are used in them. So all you're going to do with that is spray it on the inside of your mask and put it on. You can reapply it as much as you'd like throughout the day. I'd like to know how often that would be, like how long does that scent last, is a good question for those. And how did it make you feel? Did it improve the experience of wearing a mask, especially if you're wearing them for long periods of time? So fill me in. And then last but not least, of course, we have our essential oil blend. This is the Svadhisthana blend, which is the Sacral Chakra. So your Sacral Chakra is basically in that reproductive region of your body. So we did the root chakra in our last pack, which was the Muladhara, and that's like the base of the spine. So we're just kind of moving up the body now. So now we're about 2 inches below the navel. Think about ovaries and uterus and that kind of area when you think about this. And that's really why this chakra is tied to our sensuality, our sexuality, but it also is a chakra that's connected to our creativity and also our feelings of abundance. And I think that feeling of abundance thing maybe comes from being kind of that childbearing area of the body. And so when we think about that, when we think about the different ways or the different things that can happen when that chakra gets blocked, is that we might have trouble with relationships, and we might have trouble like accepting our own sexuality or our own sensuality, or even trouble accepting or enjoying pleasurable activities. And then with the creativity, we just may find that we don't feel as creative. And with the abundance, we may feel like we just don't have a really healthy connection with money or material possessions, where we might kind of get into like that hoarder type of situation, or where we just feel like we just need so much stuff and it's never enough. Or we might even get into a situation where we just don't feel like we necessarily deserve to have anything. And so those are some of the things we might feel when our sacral chakra isn't performing well, or isn't the energy isn't flowing through there correctly. And so this particular blend has a lot of those more sensual oils. Ylang ylang is kind of the one that the big one that comes to mind. And then anise is another one, and I've seen fennel also be used, but I think I prefer the softness of anise as far as that type of fragrance goes. We've also incorporated into this one cypress, which is supposed to really help to achieve some of that creativity energy, that creative energy, get that flowing. And then I've got the Litsea. Citruses generally are really good for just unblocking stuck energy in general, so it's really nice to have a citrus in all of your different blends in that way. And then I substituted rosewood as another one that was recommended for this chakra, but I don't use rosewood because it's an endangered species. And so hoe wood is generally what I substitute for rosewood. They have a really similar chemical profile and a very similar scent profile, and it's much less expensive as well, and it's much more available throughout the world in terms of like safely and sustainably being able to access that oil. And so we'll see how you guys feel about that one. One of the things about this oil that I find, I think it's really similar to our balance oil, and when I was reading about the ingredients that go into this chakra oil, I realized that our balance oil would be an excellent oil for this chakra too, but I don't want to duplicate two oils, so I did change up some of the ingredients. I'm just not sure that they're in there enough to make it different enough. So I would be very curious if you're familiar with our balance essential oil blend that we have in the store now. It would be really interesting to me to see if you feel that way too, like that this is too similar, or is it different enough that you enjoy them in different ways. Because of this sultriness of this blend, I thought it would make a really nice perfume blend, something that you could wear out, you know, on a date night, or when you go out to you know, just do something romantic, or see how your significant other responds to it. So I usually like to include a little bonus item with your pack, something that you can use with your essential oil to apply it. So if you were with me the first time we did this program a year ago, you've received several little accessory, what I would call aromatherapy accessories, and we're going to probably duplicate a lot of those. Luckily, I think that there's room for more than one. You know, you deserve to have more than one roll-on bottle. So, and if it's your first one, that's great too. These are really great. So what you will do with this is you will just put, you know, 10 to 15 drops of your essential oil in here, and then you'll just fill up the rest of it up to about the neck with some kind of vegetable oil. I generally do recommend using organic vegetable oils when you're using essential oils. So a grapeseed oil or an olive oil or a hemp seed oil. In my roll-on blends, I use an organic coconut and organic jojoba blend. But yeah, you can kind of use however you want. A lot of people also use like mid-chain triglycerides, which is another version of coconut, a liquid version of coconut oil. So if you have that available to you, I mean, that's perfectly appropriate too. And what you're going to do with this, you're just going to fill this up. Then this little piece here just pops into the top. I'm not going to put it in all the way because this is going to one of you. And then you would just pop this little ball into there, and it's all going to pop down. You're going to hear it click, and then you got this little cap that just screws over it to kind of hold it all in place. And so that's how that works. So that's really all I have for you guys for this time. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the subscription pack for this month. And just use the product, use it safely, use it for its intended use, use it in different ways to get different results, and definitely make sure you're on that Facebook page giving me your comments and your feedback, because that really is the meat of this whole process is what I get from you guys in the end. So enjoy, have a great experience with all this stuff, guys, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Bye.